Welcome back to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, in collaboration with our boy Wavy Boats, and we are back down here at Boynton. These guys look like they're going to get it on. It is a windy day down here. The current is ripping, and it is busy, which is going to make for some action, and we even have the dock blocker going off today. It's not often we get all these combinations going on at once, and you can already tell the tide's low because you can see the rocks are exposed on the right over here, and that's the only time we see those rocks. And speaking of those rocks being exposed, our guy's experiencing the current and the tide, and he's just going to pull out of the way. And I really am actually quite surprised they didn't hit any, because there still are some submerged rocks over there as well. And it's going to be an interesting day if we're starting off this strong. But you can see that flag in the background and our ramps. Once again, they're full, the wind's blowing, and that ramp's going to probably be the most dangerous ramp of the day. I really don't expect we're going to see a whole lot of people, especially anybody who's local and been around here a bunch, even attempt that ramp. When those rocks are showing and the wind and the current's all pulling that way, that ramp is just dangerous. And these guys have decided, yeah, we're not going to attempt that ramp a second time. We're gonna come back over to here to one where we can kind of just float into the ramp, which is probably going to be the very, very popular theme today. And this one's definitely going to make for a much easier time getting on the dock than what they were trying to do on the other side. And here's just an easy step off. And as we mentioned, the dock blocker is going off today. It's going to be an interesting one out there as well. We've watched multiple boats already land on this thing, and our guy, for a minute I thought they were going to get out and try and push off, but he's decided he's just going to give her hell and try and power his way through this. And it's not something we typically recommend. It's a quick way to burn up an outboard motor. We've seen this happen a couple times now where people have gotten off of this after attempting to power their way off, and all of a sudden they have motor trouble, and then they wonder why. But our guy does appear that he's been able to break free, and they're going to be able to try and get this one back into the ramp. And these guys came through for a first approach, but all the docks were full, and they've got a little bit of a bigger boat, so they were kind of trying to keep out of the way. But the captain's having to be a little handsy on the throttle because, once again, the current and the wind's so high today just to keep this thing kind of out of the way of everything. But they finally are going to make an approach on a ramp, and they're going to have a more difficult approach because the ramp that opened up is, once again, they're going to have to come into the current and wind. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of impressed by this Pro Line. It's not a boat I've ever really thought of, but man, the amount of freeboard on this thing is tremendous. I mean, it's got some high gunnels. I mean, look at this guy. He's 5 foot above the dock, stepping onto the front of this boat, which is going to make an interesting attempt to get to the dock. Oh, we got the high jump. Oh, my man. He almost goes in. The rope was what saved him. Thank God he had tight tension on the rope. If that rope would have been loose, I think he was swimming. But with the wind and current here, I don't think this combination they have going on is going to work out well. We're going to have to get the push off up at the front, but they need to move that line that's on the mid-cleat to the stern of the boat. Really, this should be a stern and mid-cleat attachment, and because the front cleat's not really helping, it's actually helping the stern of the boat go into the other lane. And Cap realizes that real quick, though, and they're going to pull this mid-cleat line off and move that back to the stern of the boat, and that should bring things back to even. Man, I'm the luckiest guy in the dock today, though. I can't believe he did not go swimming. And the dock blocker's back at it again. Look at this kid, though. This kid's like, I don't want to be here. We're done. Somebody get me to the dock. I don't want to be on the dock blocker. Yeah. Yeah, oh man, look at the kid. He's just like raising his hands. He's like, the dock's right over there. Come on, guys. And this is kind of the show that is the dock blocker today. There are multiple boats stuck on this thing at one time. It always cracks me up when that happens because you've got to see these other boats are there, which would let you know that you need to cut this wide. Yet somehow that just doesn't happen. These guys still run right up on it. And our guy looks like they're probably going to power their way off. But right now there's 3 vessels on this at one time. And here are the other 2 vessels, which is the kid we just saw who's about to get off, and then the white boat over here to the left. And this is going to sound a little surprising. This is the second time this white boat has been on the dock blocker today. They've been back into the dock twice, and both times that they've come out, they've wound up out here stuck on this sandbar. And want to talk about being stuck on the sandbar? This is how you full send it onto the dock blocker. So you can see Cito way off in the distance, but you see how far the white ski is from the red ski? He's even on the sandbar there, where the white ski is, and they've got a line attached to the white ski right now, and they're going to try and pull this thing out. And they're starting to get it, but this is how far this guy full scented. Look at the distance they're having to tow this thing out. And this kid's been on the bar now probably for about 45 minutes until he finally realized he needed to get some kind of help because there was no way he was getting this thing off. And it looks like they're going to pretty much get it out of there. I don't know that I'd be standing this close to this line that he's towing with, though. I mean, if that thing snaps, that's going to be a flying projectile. But man, I mean, he really sent it up there good. And he spent a good 45 minutes trying to power this thing off. And hopefully that jet ski doesn't have any permanent damage as well. But it looks like his buddy here is going to get him off, and he'll be back on his way. And these guys, I'm not sure exactly what happened. They came forward, and you can see where it's brown in front of them, so they ran into the dock blocker. Now they're reversing back into the dock. But it looks like the current and wind has them a little bit too. I don't know how much in control really this captain is. It looks like they're kind of just floating. Nope, they see it now. Yep, here comes the current. It's grabbed the bow of the boat, and it's going to turn them into the dock. And we're going to have to get the push off. I love the lady here. She went and sat down in the back. She's like, yeah, let me just get out of the way of this. And our crew did not have lines ready to go 100%. And they came in onto a difficult dock into the wind and current, and the current's grabbed them and is pulling them, and now they're going to block both docks. But it looks like they're going to get a lucky break. Quick thinking by one of the crewmates is from the stern, and she's onto the dock, so now basically she can just walk this boat onto this dock. And maybe I'm wrong? I don't understand why she didn't just walk that one onto the dock. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe they were just dropping her off. Oh, well, that would make sense. Or is she just switching docks to come back over here and try and catch him? I'm really confused by this one. She was safely on a dock with the boat in her hand. All she had to do was walk the boat straight onto the dock. But we're not going to do that. She's going to switch to the other dock and come back around. Now, this is not her fault. Captain probably could have recognized the situation and said, hey, yeah, just hold the boat. We'll flip the fenders and the lines, and we'll just go over there. But apparently, I guess, we were really committed to this side. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this was the side they were going to no matter what. That one just really makes... Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I missed something. That one just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You can't make this one up. This guy came back in. As you can tell, there's only 2 people on the vessel now. Came back in and dropped somebody off again. This is their 3rd time on the dock blocker today. Once, okay. The 2nd time was still a little miffy, but like maybe I can understand it. You're maybe he's new to the area. Maybe he's new to boating and just wasn't 100% sure where it is. There's no way a 3rd time I would have been anywhere near this thing, yet somehow my man has found himself onto the dock blocker 3 different times in the last 3 hours. I can't make it up. You really can't, man. I have no earthly clue how he does that. And he's enlisted some help to try and get this thing off this time, but every single time he's been out here too, it's been kind of a show for them to get it off. This boat has not come off this easy. And as you can tell, as everybody's pulling here, it's not going to come off easy this time either. They're likely going to have to get some more assistance, or they're going to have to get Cito or somebody over here to get out of here and call this a day. But you know what? Speaking of calling it a day, we're going to call it a day as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, be sure to check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things over at Haulover Inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, we do some great comedy boating videos over there as well. And we also have Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.